is what? Okay. What are you talking about? So I think there's like a blank page in your notes around notes 4 or notes 5. This is like notes 4 or 5. Oh, we got the why is it? Who's that? Why not?
Yes.
It's notes 5 that we're doing. If you're curious, only 2 people. I thought it used to be like all. Okay. Two proportion Z interval. We use this to estimate the difference between 2 proportions. So, like if you read through the example on the board, that's kind of an idea of what we're doing. 60, if you run it, I'm just going to say it again. 62 out of 100 randomly sampled people in Michigan prefer dogs to cats. 52 out of 100 in Ohio prefer dogs to cats. Estimate the real difference. Because those are both like, their sample variance, right? Like 62 and 52 out of 100. Might really be the same, they might be far enough apart that they're different, but that's what this is for. To like mathematically estimate, okay, what is the actual difference between these 2 big populations based on our samples. So you start off by saying P1 equals the true population proportion of whatever. Context there. And P2 equals true population proportion of whatever else. So you're just naming which one's which, because like some people might have done, in the example I just talked about, some people might have done Michigan as P1, some people might have done Ohio as P1, and you can do either. But this is where you're kind of declaring. Like for me, this is P1, so here's what I'm going to do with that. So at the end, your answers can come out like exactly opposite. We'll get into that down the road. So then we're going to say we want to estimate difference between. So hold on, I'm not going to say between. I'm going to say the difference, and I'm going to declare the order I'm subtracting. I'm going to declare it as P1 minus P2. That can change. It doesn't even have to be 1s and 2s. It could be like PM for Michigan minus PO for Ohio. Whatever, but you just have to declare the order that you are doing. So we want to estimate the difference. I'm saying P1 minus P2 at a whatever percent confidence level. So 95, 99, 90, whatever. Extremely similar to what we did last unit. The 1 proportion, we're just doing it for 2. So your conditions, so we're looking for shape, center, and spread. The shape is approximately normal. If we used to have like NP is greater than or equal to 10 and then Q is greater than or equal to 10, and now there's 2 P's, so we have to do like N1 P1 is greater than or equal to 10. N1 Q1 is greater than or equal to 10. And then N2 P2 and N2 Q2. If you want to do like the success failure thing, so this is success 1, this is failure 1, this is success 2, and failure 2. Because remember, the other way you can say that is like we have at least 10 successes and 10 failures. So that still works. Just kind of writing both down. The center is going to be P1 minus P2, as long as we know what. So we gotta say for both now. So if both samples random. So like both those, same exact conditions we did before. We're just doing it like again. So now there's 2 P's and Q's. Now there's 2 samples. Your spread is the square root of P1 Q1 over N1 plus P2 Q2 over N1. If, what do we say there? That's the less than 10%. So N1 has to be less than 0.1 times population 1. And N2 has to be less than or equal to 10% of population 2. This formula is on the formula sheet. You get the formula sheet like for every test no matter what. So you don't have to memorize that. Okay, so then the math box, we start off with our formula in words. So statistic plus or minus critical value times standard deviation. And then the statistic is, it's not P1 minus P2 because we don't actually know that. But it's P1 hat minus P2 hat. You just have to make sure that you do the same order that you said up top. So whatever you said like P hat minus PO there, say P hat minus PO there. You just need to have the same order. That's outside, right?
Yes.
Kind of sounds like it's from my computer. Z star, your critical value. Found that the same way. That's the inverse norm. There's no like lights flashing. Like I don't know how to tell. Oh yeah, I see it. I see who it is. I don't know whose car this is. Yeah, somebody who knows teachers' cars, come here. It's not Rod's. It's the, so you see Rod's?
Yeah.
Come like 2 this way. It's that black. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Good job, guys. Lady teachers, that's what you call them. I'm lady teachers. It's like a Camry, I think. That's your standard deviation. I think it's one of the TAs. I don't know her name. Then you plug in numbers for all these slots. So that's where I like plug in numbers. But you put a number in every slot, like 62 over 100 minus 52 over 100 plus 1.96. Then you put all those numbers in. But then you're not going to actually calculate it. You're going to do it with the calculator. So then you go to 2 prop Z int in your calculator, and you're going to get your answer. And then you're going to say we are blank percent confident that P1 minus P2, or whatever order you've used through the whole thing, is between whatever and whatever. I don't think that's anything like crazy different. One of the reasons we spent so long on the last unit was so that we could, like, we should be able to let things build on that fairly quickly now because we hopefully got a really solid base with the other stuff. Questions on the template anywhere I can answer? Okay, so then we're going to do that problem I had on the board. So I'll give you a second if you want to write it down. I'll do that one. No. We will not be doing Notes 5. So if you want to use the Notes 5 papers to like write in, you're fine. I don't know, you looked very confused. No? Okay. Were any of your matches like close? Battle? Hi. That is. Can I write it here? 1 point. So like 1.95. Oh, so you could put like 0.95. And that's let's just check. Do it. That's right. So you, it's like the positive and negative. You don't have to do it. I'm just waiting for you to write it up. Go ahead. If you want to, go ahead. I guess you're probably capable. Yeah, if you're already going, go. But I'm going to go through it if you want to pay attention.
That's what I did for the
Yeah, like you can know. Yeah, you still have to show all the crap, but like you kind of know the answer already. So this is a 2 proportion or 2 prop either way. The interval. Gotcha. You have to wait for me. Yeah. Up here where I wrote like to estimate the difference, you don't have to write that part. That's just me like reminding you in the notes what you're actually like trying to do. So I'm gonna say, let's do Ohio Sutton because it's even O looks like a 0. And we're just gonna do 1 and 2. True proportion of dog greater than cat in Michigan. P2 equals true proportion of dog greater than cat in Ohio. So I've got like this tiny sample, and I'm trying to use that tiny sample to make a bigger picture statement. So we want to estimate I'm going to do P1 minus P2. If you want to do 2 minus 1, you kind of see how it like is different than what I do. But if you want to just roll what I'm doing, that's fine. I can show you how they'll be different. We want to estimate P1 minus P2 at, did I have a confidence level on the board? 95. Okay, at 95% confidence level. So there's my intro. And Then conditions, so I want shape, center, and spread. So for shape, I'm going to say I have at least 10 successes, 62 and 52. And 10 failures, which would be 38 and 48. That's like the cat people. Yes, I'm calling cat people failures.
I like dogs. I like cats because they're like
They're both pretty cool.
and I have both. If you die, your cat will eat you. Dogs will too. Dogs will.
will eat you too.
No, they won't. That literally has happened like multiple times.
I mean, that's just like survival.
Yeah. They lay next to their owner and they die with them. Some of them do, but not all of them. The cat will start with you.
The center is going to be.
No.
I like them.
Wait. Go back to your template. It's very easy to fix them. We're just putting hats on things. It does look good. But for center, I said P1 and P2. We don't know those. Like, I don't know the true proportion. I know the sample. I don't know the true proportion. So what do I have to put on top of all of these?
Hats.
Yeah, they all need hats. Just for like the center and spread. I mean, technically for all of them, but
Wait, in the calculator, are we putting P is greater than?
we can find out. That's for a test, not an interval. So you shouldn't have that choice. You don't have to call me Lord, Mr.
My name's Jeff. It's nothing.
Davis. So your center is P hat 1 minus P hat 2, which is 62 over 100 minus 52 over 100, which is 0.1. But how do I know that I'm allowed to use that for the center? Both samples are random. And then the spread, square root of all this nonsense. P2 hat, Q2 hat. And I could like plug numbers in there right now, but I don't really see any need to. Like I didn't have to do this part either. The 62 minus 52. Because I'm just going to do it down there later. But that was easy, so I was just like, I'll just do it. This one I don't want to do twice. That's too many numbers. I'm lazy. How do I know this is true though? Because 100 is less than or equal to 0.1 times all Michiganders. And 100 is less than 10% of Ohioans. So far, so good?
Did you search that up?
What?
With 8,000 cases from just last year. So now what was the majority?
Was it dogs or cats? Or both? All.
And you can include
Chickens,
birds
cows,
and hamsters.
horses.
How the hamster get out of the cage?
Dude, they like
Throw themselves in the cage until it falls. They look outside.
Statistic, plus or minus, critical value, times standard deviation. Your statistic is, because remember, we're trying to find the difference. So your statistic is the difference. P1 hat minus P2 hat. I like to put it in parentheses because it kind of clarifies for me, but you don't have to. Critical value is Z star. your standard deviation is this really long formula. Now I put in all the numbers. P1 is Michigan, so that is 62 over 100. And you're more than welcome to put the decimal there also, like you put 0.62, totally fine. P2 was 52 over 100. Ask it again. You can. So I could put this, I could put 0.62 minus 0.52. I could just put 0.1. I could put 10 over 100. Those are all like the same. They're all fine. Z star, so remember that's inverse norm. I'm going to do 1.95 divided by 2. So I get 1.96. And then I'm going to use the decimals in here. That's way easier. So P1 is really 0.62. So Q1 is 0.38. And 1 is 100. You're not going to have to work that out. You're just writing it, and then the calculator does everything for us. So P2 is 0.52. So Q2 is 0.48. And then I'm going to my answer. So I'm going to just go to my calculator and add it to it. But before I do that, are there questions on what I'm doing here? Okay. So, 2 prop Z interval. So it's a distribution, so second bars or second district. Scroll down to 2 prop Z. Oh yeah. 2 prop Z interval. And then I'm just putting them inside of this earlier. You're putting in like the fractions basically. You cannot put decimals here. It won't accept it. It's like the number of successes, how many were there? The number of successes, how many were there? What's up? Yeah. But if you give a decimal, it's going to be like, what are you talking about? So that's your answer. 2 things here. 1, if you had done P2 minus P1, if you had done it like the other way, it would give you negative 0.23652 to positive 0.0365. And that's totally fine. It just flips it. Second thing, the very, very common question on all these is it reasonable to assume that there's no difference between the 2 things? If there's no difference between the 2 things, when I subtracted one from the other, what would I get? I would get 0. Is 0 contained in there? It is. So since if they're the same, I'd get 0, and 0 is in there, it's reasonable to assume that these are the same. We did it kind of like this with other complex numbers, right? Like, would it be okay for me to assume that there is a 0.27 difference between these 2? Nope, the 0.27 is not it. And I assume there's 0 difference? Yeah, because 0 is in. Alright, so then I write that down. Anybody not get it? Like, you need me to come look at your calculator? And then we conclude. We are 95% confident that P1 minus P2 is between those numbers. So you don't have to say, like, it's reasonable to assume there's no difference. That's just a very common, like, follow-up question that they'll give you. But that, that's complete right there. Questions on there anyway? Like, that's a full second. Like, we spent like a week and a half on like a full thing coming up till now, and now we're gonna spend like a day. Like, we can just like fly through. So I'm gonna make one up. Have you guys do it? We'll check it. Make sure we're all good there, and it should be good. Actually, there's one in your packet. Do that one. Hold on, I'll tell you which one.
one is an example.
Yeah, it's gonna. There's nothing in the homework, so I'm looking in the notes. Is that the page you wrote up?
Yeah.
Is it actually? I'll just make one up.
I didn't know if you wanted us to save the blank.
Yeah, no, I didn't really clarify, so you're good. Let's see. It rains. No, that's not gonna work. Raise your hand if you prefer Michigan to Michigan State. I'm guessing 22 out of 30 students in. You guys are a random sample. Uh, 15 of 30 students randomly sampled. Thank you. Same one. Yes. Riverview's further away from Ann Arbor, so I figure it's probably a little less.
Yeah. Go to like Lansing or something and ask them.
Yeah, Lansing can be a different ballgame.
Elias looks like
You want to be surveying less than 10%. So like 30 is less than 10% of all students. Yeah, well. When I first typed the 20, I had 22 there. Make sure you realize I changed it. I changed it so we could have at least 10 successive failures, like Jason pointed out. But make sure you see that I changed it. Adding a follow-up, 2 follow-ups. Crap was just starting to like, about to go off. It's like building up, so I walk over to listen. Shut the door. Every teacher really enjoys hearing other teachers do that.
I think it's not just the
There was all of a sudden,
Make people just think it's like interesting listen.
well,
Teachers, students,
but like, I think, especially, you would just all of a sudden hear someone like screaming in the hallway and then like banging on the lockers with having a big fit or something. I don't know. And that's
Teachers or students?
students, I'm guessing.
No.
But you just hear it and your teacher just shut the door and then you're just like, what is going
Yeah.
on?
We hear Pat, yeah, I hear Pat, yeah, like
You
4
just hear
decibel.
and then like,
No,
you
because-
start running. Bye, Mom.
That's bullshit.
Oh, sorry.
You had to shake it.
Like, it was quiet here, right? Now you're stuck between this tunnel of noises. So that's what I got for my interval. And make sure you look at the 2 follow-up questions also. I just did the whole thing. I just went too proud.
Matt's coming.
Oh, reset it. Like reset it.
Not like reset the information.
Mr. Crab is like a whiz with
Here. Oh yeah.
Change whatever you want. Okay. So, going through and show all your stuff. I'm assuming you guys can look at the template and like look at the conditions. That's all fine. That's what I got for my answer. So, is it reasonable to conclude there's a difference between them? Would be no. And why? I should have asked like why or why not. Why is it not okay to assume there's a difference between these two? This is the part where someone would tell me why it's okay. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, the zero's in there. So, it's not reasonable to conclude there's a difference because if there's no difference, when you subtract them, you would get zero. And since zero's in there, it's reasonable to assume that there is no difference. One or two ways we can make the interval smaller. So this, I don't know, you might not have known what I meant because it's like, what can I change? But what I was trying to review is this is the margin of error, right? So you'll have like your point estimate, and then you go the margin of error this way, and you go the margin of error this way, and that gets you your entire interval. So if I could make the margin of error smaller, it would make my interval smaller. Two ways I can do that. One is I can make Z star smaller. So remember we talked about like if you have to be like 100% confident of something, or you die, you're going to make it like as big as you can possibly make. So if I want to shrink the interval, do I want to be more or less confident? I want to be less confident. So you could decrease confidence. That's one way. Or the reason it's so like that's a huge interval. The reason is because like that's just a really small sample size. 15 out of 30 and 20 out of 30, like that's so small I can't even tell. So the other way I could do it would be to increase the sample size because then I have bigger numbers on the bottom of the fractions. If I'm dividing by a bigger number, that results in a smaller number, and then a smaller margin of error, and then a tighter interval. So you can also increase sample size. So it's basically saying, is it reasonable to conclude that that's true? That there is a difference between them. That when I subtract them, I won't. Because if there's a difference, when I subtract one from the other, I won't get zero. Right? But zero's in there. That they're different. Yes. So if the interval came out to like 0.05, 0.27, now can I conclude that they're different? I can, because when I subtract them, I'm not getting zero. I'm getting something else. So one is like a little bit bigger than the other. I'm not sure how much, but I can tell one's big. Does that help? Is that clear? Is that all right? Okay, that's all I got. We'll do 2 proportion Z tests tomorrow. Then we're like pretty much done with it goes fast. Like we're done with the unit. We'll do some practice, and then you're gonna have another test like next week, Tuesday. Wait a minute, Friday. Oh, that's for Con. That's fine. You'll have to Friday.
Yes, school on Friday. Only be at school on Friday.
What school is it? Like, I honestly don't. That's why I do it.
I get to
I
visit
can't
Ashley's.
remember. Oh, we did like type 1 and type 2 air. Were you here for that? What did we do Friday?
Friday.
What did we do? Oh yeah, it was like homework 3, right? It's 4. Homework 4. No, you did 3 also. We didn't do 3? We didn't do 3? Okay, 4. We did that fast. Okay. Yeah. What? I'm confused too. I'm gonna look at Schoology. Oh, no, we did note. Yeah, we did like a little bit of notes, and then I gave an assignment. So you should watch the video. You should watch the video. There's the video on Schoology. And same for color. When would you like to?
I have most of the stuff done. I wasn't able to work on homework when I was sick because I was too sick. So I don't have all my con done, which I can finish because normally I leave that for review.
It's like you're studying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I don't have it done.
Okay.
So I was gonna do that, and then I just have like the actual review, and then I have everything else
Okay.
done.
Do you have all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It's up to you.
Okay.
Let me know or
okay.
whatever you need.
Okay, thank you. The take-home test. Will
Oh,
you
yeah.
just?
Forgot about that. I mean, that's easy. Well, I'll give it to you when you take it.
Okay. Thank you.